about Dennis, probably in our interview. Basically, it would be a social visit with the volunteer, but it would be the volunteer taking photos of the patient's loved ones and their hands together. And then the family would get this memento afterward. We were practicing with someone laying in a hospital bed, and another person was coming up and trying to see the different positions, because we wanted it to be a positive experience, not intrusive when they're on their deathbed, literally, but yet it could be a touching moment for the families, you know, and then they get this as a memento. So that's the lasting touch. When we get done with this COVID, we can revisit that. But, you know, this could be something that we partner with you guys with for sure. I did this PowerPoint pretty quickly, so it might be a little disjointed, but this is another way photography could come into helping us make people feel better. This is actually in the inpatient unit. It's on the wall. These are all the staff pets. So what I did is I had volunteers, you know, cutting the little things, putting the first name of the pet and the last name of the owner, you know, so then walking down the hallway, everybody would look at it, and it was just pretty special. So that's another photography way. This is an exhibit that kind of like what, I haven't put Dennis's up yet because there was a COVID outbreak at the facility. I was going to put it up yesterday, but that is still gonna happen. But this is what it would look like. This is one volunteer who lives in Fernandina Beach, and they love it. This is the long-term care facility. The patients see it, the visitors see it, and the staff sees it, and it's uplifting. And it's, the volunteer loves it too. You know, he's very proud. This is, you guys might, if you can see it, but this is your co-member, Dennis Benson's beautiful still lifes. And it's a small exhibit, but very beautiful. And I just love it. And this is at a long-term care facility too. I'm kind of not mentioning the long-term care facilities because I probably shouldn't. Here's part of Dennis's exhibit that I'm going to put up, right? Marie, we're going to do it. We're going to find the perfect place in St. Augustine if the intended facility needs a little time to recuperate from the COVID virus, but we're going to find a place because everyone loves it. And I have loved it being in my office and enjoying it. So all of you guys, I'm sure, understand the power of it. This is the pet painting parties that Marie told you about. They're great fun. Each pet, you know, so I need volunteers who know how to paint, because somehow we make it work out, Marie, right? Somehow there's 20 people there and we're all like trying to help them paint, and it works out. And then of course we create an exhibit out of it. I like creating exhibits. More community service volunteers, more community service volunteers. This was actually at a facility, not when I was working with community hospice, but I worked for another facility, and I organized something called partner painting, where young volunteers, artistic volunteers would go in and paint with the residents. Same thing, put up an exhibit. Here's another picture. We did a pet painting party. Marie, can you imagine that? This was delightful. And here's another one. We did in Bloom.
Oh, that's nice.
And we put it up. And what was really cool this is at the facility. This is the activities director that's there. We had an open house, like a gala, open house, and the family members came and saw it and visited more with their loved ones. So it was pretty special there too. Just another exhibit we did. We had lots of patient volunteer experiences where I would assign a patient to a volunteer who they were both artistically inclined or liked to paint or whatever, and they would have these experiences, and it was fabulous.
Snake. It's fun.
Oh, my technique isn't working anymore.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay, and then we have some volunteers, and again, this is when we could visit, but this young lady would go to the inpatient centers and just do art herself while the patients were watching her. They loved it. They just wanted to sit and watch her do paint and draw and do whatever. And then she would leave them with the artwork. Sorry, I think I'm going beyond my time. Creative cards, we need crafters. The cards are so very popular and we make them for all occasions. Photography, we have some volunteers who submit cards and they're beautiful, beautiful photographs. And that's her style. And I love that they're local and so do the patients. We have other stuff, fiber art, the fidget blankets, anybody that likes to sew. The masks are obviously very popular right now, but this actually happens to be my dad's bathrobe that a volunteer made into a heart with another program that I think we can get going pretty easily because hearts are easy to sew and stuff. So if you know any seamstresses that would like to do some meaningful work, these are origami. I probably got 1,000 of them, origami cranes. And the visitors love to take them when they're visiting the patients. They just kind of take one and each crane, this one volunteer writes the word peace in another language. Lots of other stuff going on. Anything creative, anything artistic, any certain talent that somebody has, I feel like it's kind of my job to figure out how to utilize that talent. We have our very first aromatherapy garden started as of yesterday at Hadlow. Gardeners, landscape artists, anybody like that certainly falls under this. And without further ado, I'd like to hand the mic over to Dennis Benson, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his experience so far. You got it, Dennis.
Okay, am I there?
You are.
I can't see myself. I just see. Hello? Okay. I first met Betsy when I submitted an application to serve as a hospice volunteer. It was a way of me trying to do something more meaningful in my life after I retired, when I was just really walking my dogs on the beach, taking photographs. And, you know, I had a career, and working in hospice seemed a way of giving back. And I'm not young, so it's a way of understanding the later stages in life. When I submitted the application, I submitted an application with a quote from Ram Dass, who I was reading at the time. And he was at the end of his life at the time. And what he said at the time was, after all, we're just all walking each other home. And that was what I thought would be a great theme for a photo exhibit. Now, in his book, which he wrote at the later stages of life, he wrote it with Linda Taylor, an Episcopal minister. And I'll quote what she said to his line, after all, we're just walking each other home. We're all going to the same place and we're all on a path. Sometimes our paths converge, sometimes they separate, and we can hardly see one another, much less hear one another. But on the good day, we're close together and we're walking each other home. I never got the chance to serve as a hospice volunteer due to COVID hitting, but Betsy kept in touch with me and I sent her a few of my photos, many of which deal with my own coming to terms with mortality. Betsy is always full of good ideas and suggested we prepare an exhibit to travel around local hospice locations. As a result, I organized about 25 of my photos I thought would work well. And I often pair my images with texts that are from it felt like a little peculiar.
Hey, Dennis,
so
you're-
Larissa, can you pull up the first image?
You're breaking up just a little
Hello?
bit. Just, so you know, Dennis, you're breaking up just a little bit. So,
Larissa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up now. Give me 1 second. Come on now. Basic desktop. Ah, there it is. Share.
There we go.
Whoops. Hold on. What did I do? There we go.
So this is the first image that I thought would introduce the exhibit. We're all just walking each other home, and it's a scene from the beach right by my house on a nice day. We can go to the second image now. And I said, let grief be a falling leaf at the dawning of the day, which is an Irish song. I'm Irish and I listen to Irish music all the time. And I was listening to that song. And this is one of my photos and I thought it'd be perfect pairing with it. So that's how this came about. And next one. This is a photograph when I lived up north and flowers died in winter, which they don't necessarily do down here. And it's a poem by Sarah Teasdale, which I paired with it, which has particular resonance with me as somebody who starting to feel his age when he didn't 2 years ago. So I love the quote. I hope you can all see it. And can we go to the next one? This was taken in Vermont on Lake Champlain in Burlington, Vermont. And I love the idea of the boats setting out and the far horizon. And I thought it worked really well with a hospice locale. I mean, I just love the image. Next one. This is another one from Lake Champlain. Just as an anecdote, when I was about to retire, my wife, who's still working, she's a psychotherapist, asked me, let's each take a place we want to retire to, and then we'll compromise. And I said, Burlington, Vermont, where there's mountain snow and seasons. And she said, St. Augustine, Florida, where it's flat and no seasons. And so we compromised and we live in St. Augustine. Next one. This is the Matanzas outlet, and the quote is by Edgar Allan Poe, all we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. And that was used in an Australian movie by Peter Weir called, what was it called? Picnic at Hanging Rock, which is one of my favorite movies. And it's a movie about how landscapes just resonate with your soul. And I love this image. It's one of my favorite photographs. And the next one. This is a quote. William Martin riffs on the Tao, which is the Chinese book that's very meaningful to me. And the quote says, when the chatter of our minds quiets down, we find the still point around which all of our life revolves. From this still point, we can watch everything come and go in peace. Everything that is or was or ever will be has a common source from which it comes and which it lives and to which it returns. I just love that quote. So next one.
Oops, hold on.
Oop,
Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
there we go. This is, when I lived in New Jersey, I was a dean at Rutgers University in the art school, and they had display gardens, which were really beautiful. And I was always amazed by these quiet little still lifes, these worlds that have no reference to us and total independence and such total beauty. And I've been photographing scenes like this all my life. And next one. And I thought this was a good coda for the first image of walking ourselves home. This is the Mastanzas outlet again. And it's this lonely little figure at twilight walking by himself. And, you know, it's an image I'm very fond of. And final image. When my brother turned 70, which was about 4 years ago, we were in a car and he said to me, you know, I know my light is small, but I want to let it shine as brightly as it can for the rest of my life. And so I picked the common flower, which is not particularly gorgeous, and put this quote by Reverend Gary Davis in it. Just as long as I'm in this world, I am the light of this world. And I think that's a good way we should all volunteer and contribute as much as we can in our lives. And with that, I'll sign off. Larissa, did you hear?
Thank you,
Yes.
Dennis. Thank you so much. Yeah, I remember meeting Dennis. I guess it was back in January, Dennis, and it was very, you know, I just knew you had something to give, especially creatively, and just your demeanor, and you know, I knew it was a good fit. So thank you so much. Would you guys like to see the pet therapy calendar?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Let me share my screen again. Oh no, where is it? Let me get it. Sorry. Share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Not yet.
Did you click the share screen on the bottom?
I'm
The
doing it.
green?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. There it is.
Yay. So the pet therapy calendar. It was a little bit of a whirlwind, very, very happy to be part of it. Attribute all of my part to the volunteers who made it happen with their photography talent. Very thankful, I was the grip. I was like holding all the stuff and like falling around and trying to make the dogs smile. We had 5 sessions altogether, one in St. Augustine with the camera club. And it was really different, and Maria will attest to this. It was the first time that actually our volunteers did the photos, right? It was kind of done in-house with professionals, and was costly and got to be too costly for us nonprofit, actually. So this was the way to go. And I'm happy to be part of it. And I'm so proud of all you guys that helped with this. And I think, Michael, who took this cover photo? Are you there?
That's actually that's one of mine.
Okay,
Oh,
All of the photos, I was very thankful with the turnaround. All this was done like, okay, we had the photo shoot on the weekend, and then on that Monday, all of them had to be downloaded to the foundation department who was putting it together. And I appreciate that part. Michael has just been so professional and on point, and I'm very thankful for his leadership. But we kind of just gave them all to the person who knew none of us and was making it all fit on the calendar. So these were selected by someone other than myself or anyone here, actually. So, you know, congratulations, Michael. And that's a beautiful picture of Jilly. She never looked so adorable. So first page. And I had a couple of young volunteers,
sweet.
meaning young as in 19 and 20-year-olds, very talented, who were jumping at the opportunity to come and take some photos. And so we had a lot of fun doing that. And this young lady who took the photo is a UNF college student, but aspires to be a pre-med. So that's December. We got an extra little month in there. And then we have another volunteer, JoJo, another young student volunteer. And here's JoJo in all of her glory. And I'll have to say, we were trying to find really beautiful outside spaces just to kind of fit with, we're all either doing stuff outside, enjoying the great outdoors. So these houses are some of our volunteers' yards that have pretty gardens or live on the creek or that kind of thing. So here we have Ari. She's a lovely little girl too. And she's our February. By the way, I took a stack of calendars to Michael, so you can all have one. And if you run out for some reason, we'll scrounge up some more, right, Marie?
I think so,
I'm
yes.
probably going to give Marie some.
Yes.
Haley, he's a good old boy. Here's Roxy. Roxy's, and actually, while I'm scrolling through this, an idea that I had, and I mentioned it to Michael, and he didn't veto it, so I say it's worth mentioning. I say we should have another photo shoot. Why does it have to be for the calendar? Why can't it be for these exhibits in our long-term care facilities? Same premise, uplifting purposes. Who doesn't want to look at these adorable dogs? Or, you know, we could have, I'm trying to get a virtual gallery going where I'd like to put, Michael gave me all the photos in a flash drive, but I think it would be fun to also post in the gallery the making of the calendar, so it can have all of the photos in there. So that's another idea. Here's somebody's photo. Do you know who did this one, Michael?
Yeah, I believe that is Andrea Jones. Andrea, you're still on the call?
Andrea, which I found out at the photo shoot, is actually one of our community hospice volunteers. So that's pretty cool. Hers was selected, so I think that's a good choice. This is Jamie. On Andrea, is it Andrea? She might not be on.
Yeah.
And here's Honey. Honey just wanted to cuddle with the photographer, so we had a hard time keeping her away from the photographer. So all the photos were of Honey running to be cuddled by this sweet young lady photographer that I had. Here's a beauty. And Michael, you want to divulge who did this one?
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's our very own Kay Wells.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
You think so, Kay?
I love it.
Oh,
Love it, love it, love it. Those dogs are all owned by one of our very special pet therapy volunteers.
Really?
They
Hmm.
are love bugs. Some of you guys got to meet them, and I think they were the stars. And Michael, I love your story about what a passerby said to you guys when this photo shoot was happening. You want to say that? Tell that, Michael?
Yeah, I think that may have been with Jamie, but had Jamie up in the tree, and someone said, "Is that dog famous?" And,
Because there's like seven photographers, like,
yeah. I told her it was Tom Hanks's dog. And,
Good one. Here's Abby. This little, she's my pet therapy dog. She comes and I love on her, and she's so sweet. That's September. Here's Molly. So adorable. It's the only shot with a like a bench or something in the background, but I think it still looks good. This is a pretty one. This actually was taken by the pet therapy volunteer herself in her backyard because she lived in Gainesville and she actually had COVID. So she couldn't get out. So she took a picture of her dog and texted to me on my phone. And I think it looks pretty good.
Wow.
So we got some talent hidden out there just amongst us.
Hmm.
There's Calvin. He's a good.
Beautiful.
And then I hope it shows the back page because that was something a little different too. This, I had the fear of inviting pet therapy volunteers to the photo session. And this is how the idea of why don't we have more photo sessions and do more with these photos? Because you never want to leave someone out. And you want to try to involve as many as you can. And I felt particularly compelled due to the pandemic because it was a way to safely get out, socialize, a way for these dogs to be feeling like they're working because that was hard for them. So I just wanted to involve as many as I can. So we got 6 more on there. And Lola, I believe, is the only one on this page that was taken by Michael.
I think, Tim, is that you? I think that might be Tim Labordi.
Well, that's an
I tried to
awesome
match up
picture.
what people sent in.
Yeah, that's me.
That's beautiful. And just so you guys know, I gave the dogs themselves, due to the service hours, they had more, they had the feature page. They had more, they should be featured. So Lola had been featured the last time we did a calendar. So that's why her pick, because that's a lovely photo. It would certainly be good for a feature page. So that's it. That's the calendar. That's all. I'm so sorry. We're way over our time. Hopefully we didn't bore you guys. We're here. Michael has our contact information if you have any questions, and I hope to work with you guys in the future. If you're interested, Michael will put you in contact with me. How's that?
Yeah, thank you. That, just terrific. I'd share with you a couple of things. Betsy and I, when we first had an initial conversation, I don't know about you all, but I've had the experience of volunteering and feeling like I wasn't adding much. Sometimes, I've been in situations where we get a number of volunteers, probably too many for whatever the particular task is, and it's not something I really add a lot to. So to be able to do something that, you know, we might have a little skill at or have some passion for and give back that way, you know, is really meaningful, I think. I would say, you know, in the chat, you'll see Marie was kind enough to put her contact information. You know, and folks, I think Betsy, they can reach out to you directly, right? If they've got volunteer ideas or want to help, you know, at some level. If you have ideas about how you'd like to see the club, you know, interact, you know, not only with community hospice, but Kay has pointed out that, you know, the club is a 501c3 nonprofit. You know, part of the mandate is really about education and giving back to the community. So if there are opportunities outside of that, you know, we'd love to do that. Certainly love to, if people have a, you know, a taste for it, do this again next year. You know, and certainly as I looked at it, what your presentation, Betsy, and what you talked about, Marie, I think there's lots of opportunities there. You know, as you have musicians playing, somebody was taking those photographs. You know, if you have a gala, you have an event, you know, and you want somebody to cover it, you know, we can put out a notice to our folks, you know, see if somebody can step in and help you with that. You know, if you're having a painting class and you want somebody to document that, we may be able to get somebody to do that as well. And I think there are probably other opportunities as well, but great. And Dennis, wow, you know, those are some amazing pictures. And,
Amazing.
you know, I think I could Google for the next 4 years and not come up with those quotes. You know, it's amazing. But we thank you. A couple of last things to wrap up. As Betsy mentioned, I've got a number of calendars. If you're coming tomorrow to the Night of Lights, I can bring copies and give anybody who wants a copy or copies, you know, to that. Paul, where are we gathering up? Oh, you're on mute.
Something, the Constitution, the Plaza.
Okay.
At the Plaza?
You got me okay now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, tomorrow night we're going to meet at 6:30 at the Plaza, and we'll hang around as long as we want to. I thought Wednesday night would be a good night. Somewhere between 2 million people and 1 million people will be there. So that should be good. And the potential for great photography is always there on the Nights of Lights.
It's cold enough. We may not have that many people, Paul.
Yeah, it's cold, but I think tomorrow night it's going to be a little better. If it turns out to be too cold, we can do it again.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow night, but we could do it again later. I was mostly worried about getting these photographs to Terry, who wants to have them for the Guy Harvey exhibit.
Right.
So that's why I decided.
We could bump that back probably maybe 4 days or something like that if it need be.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. If it's too cold, not many people show up, I'll post another date.
Paul,
Yes.
do you know how long the lights remain on? I don't think they remain on all night, do they?
I think they do.
They do?
I can't swear to it, but I've never been down there when they weren't on.
Okay, well, Catherine, about 2 in the morning would be good then.
See, well, let us know how that goes for you, Tim.
That's a little
So
too
Paul,
early.
you've got
Tim.
another. You have another field trip lined up too, right?
I'll just
What's
get into
that?
the next field trip is the Bridges Photography Walk in Jacksonville. That's going to be Sunday, December 20th. And we're going to meet there around 3:30 at a place called the Friendship Fountain. And that's at 1015 Museum Circle. I've never been there. I can't find my way around Jacksonville easily. So hopefully, if you go online, you can find the address. It's posted and you can find your way there. I couldn't tell you how to get there, I'm afraid.
Well, I'll give everybody a hint. I've been there before and taken pictures of Friendship Fountain.
Yes,
You know where the Chart House is?
I don't.
Okay, it's the restaurant directly across from where the landing used to be on the other bank.
Okay,
Go to the Chart House or put in your GPS, the Chart House. The
Okay.
Chart House is right there by the fountains.
okay, that's great. The bridges that what happened was I saw this fellow Fred Ortel from the Beaches Photography Club. He had posted a bunch of photos that he had taken at the skylight, the cityscape, and some of the other bridges. And so I called him up and I asked him where he did that and all of that. And he volunteered to be our guide for the trip on Sunday, the 20th. And so we'll meet with him. Hopefully we'll get some golden light and some blue light as well, because of the time of day. It gets dark very early. And
George Barroso is also putting up some beautiful stuff with the bridges.
Yes, right. That's right. I think
Yeah.
I sent him a note. Actually, now that you mention it,
Yeah.
okay, it was George that I talked to first, and he put me on to Fred Ortel.
Okay.
That's how that happened. And then let's see, I think we have on February 13th right now, that's a Saturday. Excuse me, we're going to meet at the Masters Track in Hastings. That's 7756 Hub Bailey Road. And hopefully Kay has kind of been keeping an eye on things over there. It's all mowed. And Linda Burek, I think her name is, from Audubon. She's going to help us out with that. We're going to meet at 6:30 in the morning. She thought that would be the very best time to get there for the birds and other animals. It's nice over there. It's not quite as big as a place like Viera, which is 2 hours south of here. But and we'll be working on a number of other field trips between now and the end of February.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
I
Kay,
had a
what's the
question
deadline?
about, from the hospice. I'd like to ask the question. I thought there was going to be a question session.
Sure.
I was a photographer for Helping Hands for, 4 years. And that never really got off the ground, where you take pictures of people in hospice, their hands. Is that still going on, or what happened to that?
You're muted.
Betsy, you're muted. Betsy, you're still muted.
Larissa, can you unmute?
Sorry, I was having trouble with my screen. Somehow I lost everything real quick. My husband just came home. I'm going to blame him for that. Paul, I saw your note on the chat too. I'm not familiar with the Helping Hand. This program was something we actually never started. We were going to start in our inpatient unit. We had the 3 volunteers who were going to pilot it. And we were just gonna take it case by case within our inpatient unit right there, very controlled. The social workers loved the idea. The staff thought it was really good too. And we had several family members that were requesting it. I'd love to talk to you about this or wherever you did the Helping Hands, to get that information, to see.
I did it for you. I did it for your organization. And
For
this was
community
like,
hospice? When was
yeah,
that?
it's about 3 years ago. I was called out and I did about 3 or 4 of them, and then it stopped, it died. In fact, one of the pictures that I have, I donated to the center.
Interesting. I'd love to see it. I'd love to talk with you about it. Marie, do you remember anything like that? It was before I've been at hospice.
Only thing I could,
I've been at
what I
hospice.
was thinking is it could have been something through our communications department, is what I'm wondering, if maybe they were using it for some type of, brochure or something. I don't know.
I won't take the time to go over it, but I eventually left because I couldn't keep going to the meetings that I went to and not get called out to photograph. So I don't want to be negative about it. I just wondered what happened to it and if it's going to be started up again.
I don't know about that program, but I'd love to pick your brain about it, because I am a firm believer that there's nothing new under the sun. You know, we just keep perfecting these ideas. But
Okay.
you know, this, I still believe in this because I have a very lovely picture of mine and my mom's hand that I awkwardly took myself, that I have framed in a picture on my desk. And it is meaningful to me. And a lot of people who see it when they come in, they wish they had one of their parents, or they would like to do it, or, you know, one of those kind of things. And I'm not sure what the program was before, but I'm happy to talk with you more about it. We don't have to with everybody on right now.
I set my phone number where you can give me a call.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Paul.
Hey, Betsy, quick follow-up to that.
Sure.
Do you have families who say, you know, we want to get one last picture with grandma or grandpa? Or is that intrusive? I mean, I'm just wondering if that's
well,
something that happens.
As with all of us, we're all wired differently. We all have different opinions and different feelings about different things, especially at the end of life or at the family's end of life. We did right now, things are not how they used to be. I don't have to keep saying that. We're getting no requests like that right now, and we might not for another 6 months. But yes, we did. I had a request one time of a young lady who was getting married, and her grandmother was in hospice, and she wanted to set up a photo shoot to take photos with her in her wedding gown with her grandmother who was in hospice. They do come. I feel like sometimes you have to present something to a family. It's a very difficult time for a lot of people when their loved ones are passing away. But in the right circumstances, I believe that it would be valuable, very valuable to the family. It can be. Yeah.
I think too, one thing Betsy's saying too, we just try to accommodate people, you know, whatever. I mean, because we get all kind of requests. So we just try to accommodate people, and everyone's different. So.
Can I make a comment?
Of course.
Richard Avedon photographed his father in his last days, and he got a lot of criticism for it. But I find those photos very, very beautiful. It was a way of him getting closure and seeing his father at that time. So yeah, it's something not everybody would like, but you know, Richard Avedon's photographs of his father's passing were beautiful.
I literally get mixed reviews when my office is somewhat of a showcase for these ideas or things that have actually transpired or hope to have come to fruition. But there is a definite percentage of people who find that even the hand photos, and that's why I liked the hand, because of that reason of maybe not wanting to be photographed, you know, with your, you know, tube or whatever's hooked up to you as you're dying, you know, in your face. But hands, I thought would be the least intrusive, possibly. And the touch and the hands, it certainly have a lot of meaning. But most people, if I had a percentage, I'd say 80% love the ideas with the photographs. And there's some though that don't find it, that find it intrusive. But it would be all requested through the social worker and the families. This wouldn't be like you're going in there with the camera and let's take some photos. This would be very strategically, here is your patient, you're going to visit them. We have the, photo release, very HIPAA appropriate. But, and then in the outcome have a meaningful memory.
Awesome.
Any other questions? I'm sorry, I forgot. I skipped over the question and answer period because I felt bad about taking too much time. So I'm happy to answer questions, or you got it, Michael.
Well, a couple last things, we'll wrap up. So Kay, the holiday card deadline is when?
Oh,
17th.
it's the deadline is the 17th. If you just put it up like you normally do in the forum, and if you want to, if you want the inside and the outside to show, put up 2 photos. If you want just the outside to show, put up 1. And we're having a non-member graphic artist do the judging for us. And the winner gets a year's free membership.
Some really cool stuff.
There's some already up in the forum. Go look at them.
So with that, there's no, go ahead, Dennis.
Kay, I thought your photo of the holiday card was beautiful.
Thank you.
How many cards is possible? Just one we submit, or this is Vicky.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Probably can't hear me. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
She asked how many cards can we submit?
Just 1. Only 1 entry.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so no in-person meeting this month. The next opportunity is a Zoom meeting. So we have an FAA licensed Zoom pilot to show us some drone photography and how to get started there. That's on the 12th and 12th of January, that is. And then Tim, who have we got for the January speaker for the in-person meeting? Do you remember?
I'd have to go to my spreadsheet. I don't remember. I'm not sure if it's that Cousinart lady.
Yeah, it's Christine Coussart.
Yeah, Christine Coussart, I believe it is.
Yeah, so should be pretty good there as well. And with that, I think we're a little over time, but we'll adjourn. Anything else before we wrap up?
Thank you all. Nice job, Michael, everybody.
Thank you so
There's
much.
some amazing stuff out there.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for letting us come.
Mhm.
Thank you. Where are you in
Pleasure.
St. Augustine Beach?
Where do I live?
Uh-huh.
Sea Grove.
Okay. I'm
Just
about
moved
3
here a
blocks,
year ago.
about 3 blocks from the pier.
Oh, fun.
Okay.
And I'm on 16th Street.
Okay, great.
So
Thank
we're
you,
all
everybody.
clustered.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Betsy. That was nice. That was great.
Thank
Good
you.
to see everybody. It's
Thanks
really
a lot. Thank you.
Have a good night. Happy
Good night.
holidays.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
take care.